Welcome to Monday's Mirror Moment. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. If you have gone through our 12-week Building Your Best Self course, this is follow-up, intentional, real-life application that is going to continue to help you grow in the 12 building blocks that we've been talking about, that we've gone through. If you started this year with us, 2026, and you finished all 12 weeks, congratulations. That is some serious work that you put in. It's very challenging to be a self-reflective person, to work on our self-regulation. I think we like to use the word self-control, but it's definitely easier said than done. And so the purpose of this Monday Mirror Moment is to really just help you continue to grow. As we are growing, these are areas that we are working on. And so this is really just kind of like a very transparent and safe space where we're going to share what we're working on every week, and we're just going to share it with you. We've done this before, and we kind of want to jump back in it just to be intentional and to be focused, right? And so for today's Monday Mirror Moment, I am focusing on empathy. Empathy and sympathy sometimes get misconstrued. Empathy is really putting yourself into someone else's shoes, right? Seeing things from their perspective, carrying their pain, celebrating with them when they are experiencing joy, really taking the focus off of you and allowing someone else to shine, allowing yourself to have compassion for someone else, allowing yourself to not be judgmental, right? And so it could be defined in many different ways. Those are the things that stand out to me when I think about empathy. And so for me this week specifically, I want to be intentional about, I recently, my job situation changed a little bit, not too much, but I recently caught myself about to make a judgment about a situation, about a person, and God really prompted me to pause and to put myself in that person's shoes. And when I did that, I really started to see the situation differently. I started to see that person differently, and it really helped me to just be more compassionate. And I think that is just a practice that I think we can all benefit from that. I think that it is so easy to look at a situation or look at a person and, we think we know what should be happening. We think we know what their experience is, but you don't always know what someone else's experience is unless you're really intentional about putting yourself in another person's shoes, right? And so that's just one way that I want to work on that this week. Some other ways that you may want to work on, or that all of us can work on it. I don't know which will apply to whoever's watching this, but another way that we can apply that being intentional about empathy is think about the people that maybe you are in conflict right now in your life. Maybe you're bumping heads with someone. Maybe you're not getting along with someone. Maybe someone is just driving you crazy. And maybe you have good reason. Maybe they are really out of pocket. Maybe they're doing something. But for a moment, if you could just pause, think about that person, and now just try to put yourself in their shoes. So this is going to require you to lay down your guard, lay down your feelings about a certain situation or a certain individual, and now try to put yourself in their shoes and see you. Put yourself in their shoes and try to feel what they're feeling. Put yourself in their shoes and try to think about what else could possibly be going on that you don't know about. Oftentimes we make judgments about situations and we don't have all the details, right? We assume a lot and we don't always know. And so what could you possibly assuming that you know, but you don't really know? And so I think that if we all work on just being more empathetic towards each other, another quick example that I can give that could apply to many is parents out there, right? sometimes we have to put ourselves back into the shoes of our children. And this helps me a lot in terms of being patient, in terms of understanding. I try to put myself back in the shoes of my child. If a certain situation is going on, or if someone's having a struggle or some difficulty, I try to put myself back into the shoes of little me. And I try to experience what they're experiencing, like from their perspective. And then, what really helps me take it a step further is I'll ask myself the question, how would I have wanted my parents to respond to me in this situation? And that really helps me to see things differently. And it really just requires us to slow down. I think we just move so fast out here in this world. So much is going on. So this is really going to have to be intentional work, right? And so as I am working on being more empathetic this week, I encourage you to be intentional about this. This is connected to our building block of love. Love, 1 Corinthians tells us that love is slow to anger. It's patient. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs and rights. It doesn't rejoice in evil, but it rejoices with the truth. So think of those things. 1 Corinthians 13 is really a book of the Bible that I like to read for many reasons. But the piece about love is really, really helpful when you are trying to act out love, right? Because we can say that we love people, but do your actions follow it? And so that scripture in particular tells us what love is and what love is not. And one of the things that love is empathetic. And so I encourage you to walk in empathy this week, to practice it, to be intentional about it. You may not be able to, you may fall. That's okay. It's all about building the best version of yourself, is all about intentionally, mindfully trying to move forward, right? And we can't do it all at once. So today, we'll just focus on empathy. So until next time, keep growing.